welcome back to the Collective Shift channel. I'm joined by our head of research, Matt, who's here to discuss the top 3 low-cap cryptocurrencies that he's currently watching. This post was published on the Collective Shift member platform as an example of the type of content we produce to keep members in the loop and save them time to make better decisions. Hey Matt, so what motivated you to write this post?
Hi Nick. The reason for this post in particular was really just the timing. We're in late February 2023. Bitcoin has had about 14 or 15 months now since its highs. Where we're really in the depths of the bear market here. Traditionally, or at least going back the past 12, 13, 14 years of this whole crypto market, typically you've seen these stages of the market cycles be proven to be the best time to be digging into the weeds and really finding which low cap cryptocurrencies you're really building conviction in to ultimately decide maybe to invest a very small percent of your portfolio into them once you have a bit more confidence of the market starting to reverse.
Awesome. So maybe we'll get into which one stood out to you the most out of these posts, out of these 3 that you were talking about?
Yeah, sure. So of the 3 in the post that was recently made available for members, the one we'll talk about today is StakeWise. So the token there, or the ticker for the token is SWISE. Haven't got any of SWISE, just to be clear. I haven't invested in it, and just for anyone notice who wants to know what we at Collective Shift have invested in, we do update every single week our disclosures policy, which is available on the website at collectiveshift.io. But yes, I do not hold any SWISE tokens, but it is one I'm closely monitoring for investment purposes. This one's mainly as a narrative sort of play. I think 2023 is going to be, as we talked about recently, Nick, a really significant year for all things staking, particularly sort of liquid staking or pooled staking, some people call it. I think is really going to, significantly grow in 2023 now that Ethereum is about to have its upgrade in March or April to enable withdrawals. So it'll allow stakers who, for this whole time, these past recent years, have not been able to, unstake or withdraw their ETH. This is finally going to become enabled in March or April. It's looking likely. And I think that's really going to, be a nice catalyst for some growth in the liquid staking sort of space. And StakeWise is sort of one of the players in the liquid staking category.
Awesome. I think that can also be referred to as pooled staking, if anyone is following along. So it's this idea that if you don't have 32 ETH to run your own node, and you don't want to trust a centralized exchange with your cryptocurrency to stake, there is an option for you to stake any amount as little as, I think, 0.1 or 0.01 ETH into a smart contract with platforms like LidoDAO, Rocket Pool, and now StakeWise. So it's kind of making it easy for people, and it's sort of as easy as doing sort of a token swap. So really easy functionality, and I think it's one that I'm definitely looking at as well in the market. Do you sort of agree that we're going to see a shakeup of the stake as well, now that we're seeing the withdrawals hopefully get enabled in April or March, that we may see maybe Lido start to see some of its market share reduce into StakeWise?
Yeah, I think this is a main reason why I'm monitoring StakeWise. To your point, Nick, I think Rocket Pool, Frax, and even StakeWise as well are going to be real beneficiaries of this enabling of withdrawals, because I do see, Lido, which is currently, roughly 1/3 of all the entire staked ETH, out of all that supply, Lido accounts for about 1/3 of it. I think it's copped a bit of criticism for being sort of a vector or a centralization vector, having just so much of the Ethereum locked up tokens. It might be a risk, some people are arguing. And for that reason, I do see a scenario where, Lido or ST ETH holders, so staked ETH is the ticker there for Lido's staked ETH. I do see a scenario where people will be able to withdraw after the upgrades are enabled, and they will maybe restake that or even decide to put that ETH into another sort of liquid staking provider. In this case, I suppose, my hope here with SWISE would be that, they get some of it, because, to be critical of StakeWise, like their like percentage of staked ETH is pretty dismal, really. It's like it's probably under, just doing percentages, it'd probably be like under 0.5%. I know Rocket Pools is around 2.5. And then when you're comparing that to Lido, which is, in between 30 and 35, that's probably the big hope there, because I could see a scenario where the power laws sort of like take force, and Lido, is a really, really dominant player for a while. But I suppose long term, like, yes, that will probably happen. But I still think in 2023, like, it presents a really big opportunity for the likes of StakeWise to, really, catch a bid and really, enjoy some price appreciation, because it is pretty deep down the list in terms of, ranking by coin market cap.
Maybe to finish off, talk about StakeWise. So they got the V3. You mentioned the post. Maybe at a high level, you can just summarize what the V3 is, and whether that's something to look out for as well.
Yeah, so as I've dropped in the YouTube video as well from the team, in my post, it's essentially introducing this novel concept of layered staking. So it gives, the users on StakeWise the ability to delegate their ETH to, a preferred node operator. And then, so that's sort of the first layer. And then the second layer of this sort of layered staking, they're calling it, will give sort of the StakeWise users the option to mint what they're calling OS ETH. So a lot of acronyms going on here. And that'll essentially represent your stake. So, you'll be able to use OS ETH and put it into, other DeFi applications, even eventually something like Eigenlayer. You'll be able to, put that in and earn additional, opt in to additional, boosted rewards by taking on extra risk as well. That's something where I can see like StakeWise V3, which did go live, I think, in September. So, they've had a bit of a few months of making sure everything's going well. I think that's, something as well that, encourages me and thinks, it's actually still an active project that's been working on. I think they're finally like right place, right time to really, enjoy a successful 2023.
Awesome. Keen to watch out for that narrative as well, and hopefully withdrawals are sooner rather than later. But for my eyes, it looks like all is tracking well, which is good to see. Maybe we could just touch on any other sort of sectors you're probably looking at as well. In sort of 2023, as you said, it's the best time to research when the market's really down and a lot of people have left the industry. So what are those sectors you're sort of having a look at?
Yeah, Nick, as we talked about recently in another video, I think, liquid staking again is, I think, one that's really primed to outperform the market in 2023. So yeah, SWISE, or the SWISE token is one here, but I even saw just actually earlier today, Yearn Finance has even added support for liquid staking. Frax is another one that's worth looking at in terms of that category. I'm like, very bullish on in the short term. And then, in my post, just to tease the other two tokens that I did cover, one of them was in the NFT category. I still think, it's very, very like a lot of opportunities in the NFT market, despite like how much it's just hemorrhaged volumes the last like few months or about a year now. And then also the other one was in the decentralized finance space, or DeFi, which again is another sort of category that's just been absolutely pummeled in the past like 18, 24 months or so. And look, fundamentally, financial services on blockchain, makes sense. And I think DeFi is something that will, be here for decades to come on Ethereum. So this project that I've identified in this post is one that I think has been around for, I think, 2 or 3 years now, about 2 years. But I think now it's finally sort of hitting its stride and seeing some nice fundamentally some metrics that are looking really promising. So that one was also enjoyable to cover.
Awesome. Keen to see any more of these posts to come out in the following months for sure. For anyone listening, this post was recently published on the Collective Shift platform and is again an example of the content we produce to help our valued members save time and make informed decisions. So if you're wanting to level up your crypto game, book in a free strategy call over at our website, collectiveshift.io. That's collectiveshift.io. Thanks for joining me, Matt, and keen to chat on the next one.
Thanks, Nick.